What's going on, Brew Crew? Thad, Christian, mBR hanging out at Lord of the Hops. And we got 450 Brewing here.
Yeah.
This is McKinley from 450 Brewing, and we got 5 questions for you, McKinley, to let our audience know a little bit more about 450, which right now my wife says the best at the festival. So.
Well, that's awesome. That's high accolades indeed.
Yeah, because she's not a big beer fan. So you're bringing it.
Me either.
So what's your favorite beer that is not made by 450?
It's a really hard question. It changes literally sometimes every day, sometimes every week, sometimes every month. I tend to drink really seasonally. So right now I'm super into sours. One of my favorite breweries in Indiana right now is Two Toms Brewing.
Nice.
He has a key lime pie goza going on right now that you can try. And so I just had that for the first time today, and it's rocked my socks off. Right now, that's my favorite beer.
And it's amazing color.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's incredibly green. It's like neon green. I don't know how he does it.
I don't know either.
So, you're not the brewer, but you said you've crafted some brews.
Yeah, I have.
So what's the first one you did?
The first beer that I did, I don't know. I've been a home brewer for about 10 years, so my passion in beer started a long time ago. I was brewing 10-gallon batches of all-grain beer in my basement. Honestly, before I was of legal drinking age. But one of the favorite beers that I ever made was basically a clone of Dogfish Head's pumpkin ale. And it was also at first the worst beer that I ever made. It comes out of fermentation, and it was mind-blowingly terrible. And so I had about 5 gallons in kegs, and I bottled the other 5 gallons. And I came back to it about 3 months later, thinking, well, I'm getting ready to dump this shit out, right? But I thought I'd give it a try first, and it was so delicious that it then became my favorite beer. And that taught me that was my first foray into learning that sometimes beer just needs to sit, sometimes it just needs a little bit of age on it. And that was a pumpkin brown ale that just rocked my socks off.
So, I think pumpkin beers are trash for the most part.
Yeah, I agree.
With the exception of Dogfish Head.
Yeah,
it's the only drinkable pumpkin beer that I've had.
Mine was really good too. But
I would love to try that sometime.
One of these days we'll put it together again.
Yeah, let us know.
Our next question is, how does the 450 beer connect to the local community?
No, just kidding. I just wanted to make sure those crickets got in there. So our thing is, I think one thing that kind of separates us from a lot of other breweries is we are brewing beers that are experiential, right? So we're connecting to the community literally through our beers. Our product is a product that is meant to be an experience. Every time you open a can, you're having an experience, right? Most people aren't filling their refrigerators full of our beer to just sip on them all day long. It's like you got to seek out that one that you really want. You'll get a 4-pack of it. You crack it. You have that experience, and like that is how we connect to people. Is 100% through that experience. Our releases yesterday, we had a big release. We had hundreds of cases of beer that we sell out of in a couple of hours, right? Hundreds of people in line to buy this beer. We have probably one of the largest beer shares in the state, maybe in the Midwest, that happens every time we have a release. And it's the community, the beer community is bringing these their favorite bottles that they want to share with everybody else in the line and with us as the company. And so we host this amazing beer share. So as far as the beer community is concerned, our releases speak volumes as to kind of who we are as a brewery. It's just bringing people together for the love of beer.
I follow you guys very closely on Facebook, and that's spot on because I was going to say, whenever you put out something I want to try, I can't get it. It's gone that quick.
Yeah, most of our beers are like that. The beers that I brought today, I was lucky enough to snag these from the brewery yesterday before the release. Otherwise, we wouldn't have beer to have at this festival today. So it's literally all gone. And I think that kind of adds to the experience too. You have to go seek it. You have to go find it. And we're not artificially reducing the supply. We're making as much beer as we possibly can right now. And because of the love of the beer community, because of the support we're getting from all these guys, they're just buying every ounce that we can make. And that's a really awesome place to be.
Well, my understanding from Indie Craft Brew, that one of the hosts here, you just get trucks of fruit that comes in all the time. Which some of that's got to come from our not necessarily local community, but at least statewide.
Yeah, from the region, absolutely. And,
Right.
and we're really picky about the fruit that we buy. We're buying very high-grade aseptic fruit puree that can go directly into to the beer post-fermentation. So a lot of that stuff, I don't know exactly where it comes from, but
Right.
we grow a lot of fruit in Indiana and in the region. So I'm sure some of it is locally sourced. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, well, we've already answered. Where can you get the beer? You got to get it at the tap room.
Yeah, you gotta come see my mug to buy it. Yeah. we do have statewide distribution though. So we have 3 different products that go into statewide distribution. If you have a local liquor store or a bar or restaurant that doesn't have a 450 on tap, sell them that you want it. And they have the ability to purchase our beer. Any liquor wholesaler in the state, or retailer rather, has the ability to buy our product. The problem is, even the stuff that we put in the distribution, it's readily available. It's not readily available because we just can't make enough of it to supply the demand. But the more your local bar or the more your local liquor store bugs their reps about bringing it in, the more likely when the distributor does get a handful of pallets of our product, the more likely they're gonna be able to put it on the shelves for you.
So McKinley, this is my favorite question that we ask.
All right.
Can we have a beer?
Right now?
Yeah.
Damn right we can. Damn right.
Will you tell us what we're drinking?
Yeah, so check this out. So this is the Blackberry Mango Slushy XL. So you were talking about the fruit earlier, Thad, and this is kind of where it all comes into play. You can see your glasses there. Like this is a thick beer. It's purple. It's about as purple can be. They're pushing 1,000 pounds of blackberries and mangoes in this beer, right? So we're looking at a pound and a half of fruit per gallon at least.
Wow.
So this is the XL version. So we're looking at a beer that drinks like your breakfast smoothie, but it's also 8% ABV. So a few of these is going to knock you on your ass. It's the experience. You're getting the aroma. You're getting the color. You're getting flavors that you've never had in a beer before, and it's boozy to boot. So we love these. People love us for these. We have so much fun with this beer.
Well, that's great to see. Well, the lacing, usually when you do the lacing, the fruit doesn't stick on the side of the glass. And obviously, I don't know if you guys can see that, but man.
So every time,
actual fruit.
Yeah, there's actual fruit in there. Every time we take this stuff to festivals, the breweries on either side of us always come up to me afterwards and give me shit because they have to rinse every single glass that comes their way. Because the bottom of your glass it's thick with fruit. It's thick with fruit.
And he described the look of this beer. It's thick, it's opaque, it's purple with a pink head.
Yeah, absolutely. And the viscosity of it, it's thick, it's heavy on your tongue, it's weighty. And that's, again, because of the fruit. We intend these to be as close to a smoothie as possible. That's why we call it a smoothie-style Berliner Weiss. It starts its life out as a really simple Berliner. We just fruit the shit out of it, right? Just filling it up with fruit. And that's what it's all about. It's, again, back to that experience. We're building that experience.
I got to get this in my mouth.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers to everybody in the brew crew, and cheers to 450 North. Oh, man.
Can I have this for breakfast?
Yes, that is 100% acceptable to drink it for breakfast. And if you pour it in a Starbucks cup, one of those clear plastic ones with the green straws, you can take it to work with you and nobody will question it. It's a matter of fact.
Wow. So, you talked about the ABV, you talked about it's smooth, it's fruity. I'm not getting a lot of booziness out of it, but maybe that because I'm a dark and malty guy. I love boozy beers. But this is easy drinking. It's like drinking a fruit smoothie that's not frozen.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to consume in mass quantities because you don't know that the ABV is there. You don't taste it. You don't smell it. You don't feel it on your tongue. It's not hot as they would say in beer terms about the.
I'm in a juice bar right now.
Exactly. Yep.
So I'm gonna shot a juice.
Yeah.
And
it's quite healthy too for anybody out there that's concerned about their fruit intake for the day. I don't know exactly how many servings of fruit in there, but it's got to be at least 5 or 6.
Well, since I'm getting my fruit serving for the day, I think I'm gonna have a couple more, and then I'll be good for.
Yeah, you accidentally drink this 4-pack, you're gonna go night-night. So, but I'm getting what I love about this is it's blackberry mango, and I taste both. I first get the blackberry, then the mango comes through about center of the tongue and just finishes off, and it cleans out pretty quick. So you could enjoy this one with a meal even.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to pair well with anything that you can pair those two fruits with. So, especially with these darker berries, this is going to pair incredibly well with like something like a heavy smoky meat as well. You know, these berries are really going to kind of cut through the smoke. Like I'm thinking like barbecued pulled pork or brisket or something like that right now with this thing on the side, sitting on the dock of the bay somewhere, and I'm done. You know, like that's what I need in life. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally love the berries and the mango way through the tongue. Christian's right. It cleans out quick. Man.
So another thing about, you guys have both mentioned those two flavors coming through so well. So almost all the fruit in here is post-fermentation, right? So this fruit isn't undergoing the battle with the yeast and losing all of its sugars, right? So because of that, you're getting 100% of that fruit. We're putting the fruit puree in there, so just crushed up fruit. You're getting 100% of that in your glass. So you're not getting what's left over of the fruit after the yeast has had its way with it. You're getting the fruits. So that's why that flavor is so incredibly bold. And you only get that when you put that fruit in there post-fermentation. It's the only way to get that kind of flavor, that kind of color, that kind of trueness in the fruit. And that's why it sticks to the side of your glass.
I tell people all the time I'm not a fruit beer fan, but I'm a huge fan of this beer and everything I've ever tried from you guys. So, and maybe that's it. It's not killing all the fruit off. I'm actually tasting the real fruit. Delicious.
Yeah, we're not using the fruit to flavor something else. This isn't a fruit flavored anything. This is a damn slushy. You know, this is a 450 North slushy. This is fruit and beer married in beautiful harmony, and that's what it's all about.
It's totally incredible. I love what you guys are doing. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
So, well, cheers. Thanks for coming out. Hey, Brew Crew. We got more to come. What is going on, Brew Crew? Thad and Christian hanging out at Lord of the Hops at Hop Lore Brewing Company in Leesburg, Indiana.
And we are currently joined by Brad from Ortho City. And thank you so much for, one, coming up here to the north, and two, coming out and spending a little time to talk with us about your beer.
Hi, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Thanks for having us.
So what we like to do is what we call 5 questions with a brewer. You said you're owner and assistant brewer, so you know a little bit about how the brews are made. And we ask all the brewers the same 5 questions. We'd like to ask you those. And I'm going to give you the first one is, what's your favorite brew that you guys do not brew?
Ooh, favorite brew we don't brew. It's probably going to be a red rye double IPA. Ryes are my favorite. We had one on tap about a year ago, and it went really well. We haven't remade it yet, but we are getting into the spring, summertime, so it's definitely going to go back on our list. So definitely a rye beer.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Of course.
All right, so what's the first beer you crafted?
That'd be a brown ale from a Brewer's Best kit about 8 years ago.
All right.
And it turned out great.
Yeah?
Yep.
Can you tell us, how does your beer connect with the local communities?
The local community, so we do a lot for our community at the brewery and restaurant. How we connect is we do a lot of give-backs. So like the Baker Youth Club is a organization for kids. They take kids in the evenings after school. They give them meals if they need it and all that, and then they're there till about 7 or 8 p.m. at night for people that work and adults that are single parents, stuff like that. So we do give back nights for them. We do give backs for the Fellowship Missions, which is the local homeless shelter here in Warsaw, and then we promote all the nonprofits via a Give Back Day. So Auburn Brewing Company has a really cool deal, and so does South Bend Brew Works. We kind of stole it from them with their permission. It's called Beer for Good, and if you come into our brewery right now, we've got 3 glass jugs on our wall, and every time you guys buy a beer, flight, or growler, we give you a beer cap, and that beer cap you can throw in any of the 3 jugs, and that actually will go to the nonprofit of the month, and we give a quarter for each cap. So our goal is to give about $1,000 a month back to the community.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're big fans of South Bend, and we appreciate brewers that do that because giving back to the community is huge. So where can someone find your beer?
It's right now we've only distributed a few beers, a few kegs of beer. One of the places is going to be Harry's in Wabash. Okay. And various people throughout the community have our kegs in their own kegerator at their house. And then there should be one or two in Fort Wayne. Like I said, though, our business model isn't distribution. Our business model is to grab people, bring them into the shop, and then feed them a meal and a few darn good beers.
All right. We'd like to hear that.
This is my favorite question of the 5 questions for our brewers.
Oh, great.
Can we have a beer? And can you tell us what we're about to try?
Yeah, of course. So this warning letter right here is a barrel-aged beer. It sat in a Oz Tyler bourbon barrel for about 4 months. We added cinnamon sticks, we added a quart of local maple syrup, and we added some Madagascar vanilla beans to it as well. Like I said, it's been aged for 4 months, and you're about to drink the culmination of a really fantastic barrel-aged beer. It smells fantastic.
The smell is amazing. I definitely picked up the maple as one of the first things I picked up when I smelled it, and then the booziness really kicked in.
It's 10.8%. So.
All right, 10.8%.
I'm getting a little vanilla. Yeah, I get a little woodsy on that.
Yeah. So like I said, the vanilla beans are and the cinnamon sticks are done right. We use all organic stuff when we do the bourbon barrel aging beers.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Body's very dark, light tan head. So, all righty.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Ortho
Cheers.
City. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
smooth. Man, is that smooth.
It's really good.
And so, vanilla and chocolate go across my tongue first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I smelled all that booziness. Where was it? And then all of a sudden, like, firework explosion of bourbon barrel just all over in the back. And then it comes back forward. A little bit of that warmth, too.
There's a little warmth in there. Being around 11%, it's kind of hard to hide the alcohol of it. But we do a pretty good job of denying you that in the beginning and in the middle of that. Only at the end is a little bit of the heat from that.
Well, I'm enjoying the heat, but I'm also getting great cinnamon at the middle of the tongue, right on the sides.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's picking up.
It's fun.
It is fun. It's complex, which I love.
Sure. It's smooth and complex. It's not complex in a weird way.
Right.
It's smooth and complex.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful beer.
Thank you.
So, time to score.
All right.
So I have that's an 8.9.
That's exactly where I was at. 8.9.
That's
Absolutely
huge.
delicious beer. I would drink a lot of this in your tap room.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm very impressed with 8.9. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, we thank you for being here.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for interviewing me.
Absolutely.
man.
We'll be back around for some more of your beers.
Yep.
Sounds great. We got more on town.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, Brew Crew, Christian and Thad here at Lord of the Hops Brew Fest, and we're joined by Jack, the brewer of Tinman Brewing Company out of Kokomo, Indiana. Jack, first off, thank you for joining us here at Lord of the Hops. Taking a little time away from here for us.
Thank you for interviewing me.
So we're going to do 5 questions with the brewer. Our first question for you is, what's your favorite brew that's not yours?
All right, well, I'm going to start out with one that most likely everybody knows, which is Two Hearted Ale out of Bell's. Solid IPA. Everybody, was favorite of mine for a long time. Got to say, something that maybe not as many people have heard of is a beer out of Lyons, Illinois, from a brewery called Buckle Down. It's a beer called Painted Turtle. It's a very nice pale ale. Really good.
You're right, I have not heard of that one, but look forward to trying it.
Absolutely, it's really good.
All right, so Jack, what's the first brew you ever crafted? Whether it's home brew, I don't care what it is, out of a box.
Yeah, it was a beer on like a little kit that was like a pre-hop malted barley syrup that we just got to add to water. Our first one we tried to do was a Magic Hat number 9 clone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. We were pretty happy with it, which is why I stuck with it, and now I'm made a career out of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
How does your beer connect with the local community?
So we actually have a couple events going on at the tap room. I'm not our tap room events coordinator, but we do have we'll have dog adoptions because we allow dogs in our tap room. Dog adoptions, cat adoptions, but more recently we have a beer on tap right now called Love Virus. It's a local charity that every 50 cent or every pint that you buy of Love Virus, 50 cents of it goes to a mental health charity.
Oh man, that's nice.
Yeah.
I actually work in community mental health, so thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean, like I said, and they came up with the name Love Virus. Works well with our theme for robots, and also works well with their theme for mental health.
Great. So, Tinman,
Yes.
I've had up in South Bend, Indiana. So where else besides the brew house, can we get your beer?
So right now we are we're in the tap room right now in Kokomo. You may be able to find us very soon in Indy, potentially at Hopcat, and maybe a couple of other bars in Indy. Still very small distribution, but we're looking to maybe get our beer out elsewhere as well.
We're definitely looking forward to that, being from the northern part of the state. So, and our final question, which happens to be our favorite, is can we have a beer?
Yes.
Yes,
you can.
we love when you answer yes. So will you tell us what we're going to drink?
Yes, so I have 3 beers on tap right now. The first one is my Hopefully Hazy. It's a New England style IPA that was hazy, but the hope dropped out of it when the haze did. The second one I have on tap is a passion fruit hibiscus sour, and it is very pretty. This is what I'm actually drinking right now. It's a little bit like our Damascene out of Evansville, which unfortunately is closed now, but it's a bit of a sweet beer, and then you got that sour to finish it off. And then the last one is a little, it's a very weird beer, very close to my heart. I don't like making it, but it's very strange. It's a poblano and cucumber goza that has about 15 other ingredients in it, and it's very weird. It's kind of like a Bloody Mary, if you ever, one of those. Yeah.
So we're gonna try the hazy one, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what you guys have in your cups there.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have this one, cheers, guys.
So, cheers. So what we do here in Michiana Beer Beers is we look at it. Yeah, it's got a little haze in it.
It was hopefully hazy, and the hope dropped out with the haze.
It did. Exactly what you said.
So yeah.
And it used to have a nice, clean white head on it when we first got it.
And also, yeah, it's pouring real cold right now, so the head kind of just disappears with that too.
Yeah. So on the nose, I get some great hops. I smelled just a little hint of citrus in there.
There's 5 hops in this beer.
Oh, nice.
So Whirlpool editions, because it's a double dry hop, but Whirlpool editions are Simcoe, Whole Melon, Mosaic, and I already said Simcoe. Simcoe, Mosaic, Whole Melon, and Ella, which is an Australian hop. And then in the dry hop, the same 4 except minus the Whole Melon and add Citra.
Okay. So there's why I'm smelling a little citrus.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I'm ready to drink it.
I'm ready to
Cheers.
drink it.
Tinman.
Tinman, Kokomo. Cheers, guys.
Oh yeah. So we are not first IPA guys. We are dark and malties, but this is very easy drinking.
Yes, I agree.
As it is easy drinking, you get the little dank right off the top. I love the citrus right through the middle of the tongue. That's not way bitter at the bottom. I mean, when I finish this, it's a little dry, but it's not overly hot at the back of the tongue.
That's like I said, shooting for just like those Whirlpool edition, hop editions, and dry hop. So like, I think this beer has only a first wort hop, and then no hops are added until Whirlpool, and then it's double dry hop later into fermentation.
I just like the dank right up front.
Me too.
It makes me wish it was 90 degrees out.
Yeah, me too. Although for other reasons, I'm just kind of cold right now. So.
So absolutely awesome beer, and so check out Tinman if you're in the Kokomo area. You can check it out. I mean, look at it. The logo doesn't get cooler than a cool robot.
Yeah,
So
especially if you guys like dark beers, we got 24 taps.
24.
24 taps at the brewery.
What?
only one guest tap right now, but hopefully we're going to get rotating Indiana beer, so I don't have to work as hard. Don't tell my boss. She's right there, though.
if you're putting up 23, you're working pretty hard.
I know.
So that is Tinman Brewery out of Kokomo Brew Crew. Cheers.
Cheers.
So what is going on, Brew Crew? Thad, Christian here hanging out with mBR. So we got the ladies and gentlemen from Craftroad Beverages. So
first off, can you tell us what is Craftroad Beverages?
Yeah. So I'm Chatham with Craftroad Beverage. We're a beer distributor out of Indianapolis. We're a local craft beer wholesaler that has brands across the region, across the country, and a little bit of local Indiana brands. Been around for 2 years. Our position has always been around less is more. We want to have the best beers that are available in the country and make them available to craft beer fans across the market. So that's kind of who we are. We're here representing, I think we're the only distributor here in this particular festival. So we're representing a lot of great brands. Thank God. Never mind. No, it's not good. But we're happy to be here. So thank you for having us.
So you guys picked out a beer for us to try since we're beer reviewers. That's what we do. We drink the beer, and you know the most about the beer. So can you tell us what we're drinking?
Yeah, so we are drinking Toppling Goliath. They're a brewery out of Iowa. They're actually the newest in our portfolio. They're an IPA-focused, hop-forward-focused brewery. So we're drinking some Golden Nugget right now. It's part of their core lineup that they do. It's with Golden Promise malt and Nugget hops. Very hazy. The kind of cool part about Toppling Goliath is that a lot of their core beers tend to be a single hop varietal. So you get an idea of what that hop can produce and what the flavors can do, especially when it's kind of throughout the whole beer. This is really delicious. One of my favorites that they do. So
nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So we like to show everybody what it looks like, tell them what it smells like, and then taste it and tell them what we think it tastes like. And the beauty of what we do is we're not hop forward guys. We're actually dark and malty guys, but we love trying everything and just telling people what it tastes like, because even though we might not like it, somebody else might love it.
Beer is very, very much subjective, for sure.
So like so it smells like straight orange juice. It really has a strong citrusy nose. And it's like the palate is going to be juicy. It's not too bitter. I'm an equal opportunity beer drinker myself, so I actually wasn't drinking a lot of IPAs when we brought Toppling on. So to me, they've kind of reinvigorated my appetite for IPAs in a lot of ways.
So it looks like pineapple juice to me with a clean white head on it, and you're right. The nose to me is a very citrusy orange juice.
Yeah, it's got a lot of juice character. It doesn't finish bitter at all. It's just very nicely balanced. To me, is like what you would want in a hazy for sure.
All right, so let's say a cheers to Craftroad Beverages.
cheers.
And to the Brew Crew. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, you're right. That is so easy drinking. You get the hops in the back, but it's so smooth. The bitters don't take over. There is a little in the aftertaste, but it's not taking over my tongue. It's not making me my stomach go, holy cow, that's really bitter, that's really dry. Drinks very smooth, very easy.
It's meant to be balanced. You don't want it to be too aggressively bitter that you feel like your mouth is dry and your lips are puckering. So they're all about doing just those great hazy styles. So yeah.
Borderline sessionable.
Yeah. Even though it's 6.8%, it's not technically sessionable, but it drinks sessionable.
I tell you what, that juiciness up front, you get a little bit of that orange, and it's almost orange peel.
You get a little pithy kind of characteristic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is the whole thing does not do anything until the back of the tongue. That's where I get the hop kick. But that's what finishes it out, and it finishes it great.
Yeah. Keeps it from being too sweet or too juicy.
Yes.
Balance, for sure.
Great balance on that beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely great balance. So you said this one's based out of Iowa.
Yes. They're in Decorah, Iowa, so it's a little tiny town. pretty much the biggest thing in that little town is Toppling Goliath.
And one of the newest beers to Indiana.
Exactly. All of their there's a guy over there who's wearing one of the hats, which is awesome.
Get over to him.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah, they're an IPA-focused brewery. Pseudo Sue is probably what most people know them for, which is an all-citra pale ale. But this is one of their just pours that is fantastic as well.
So we would like to thank you guys very much for joining us here on the Michiana Beer Reviewers. You can check out a whole lot more on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. So see more, and thank you again for sharing these brews with us at Lord of the Hops Brew Fest in Leesburg, Indiana, and the Hop Lord Brewing Company.
There we go, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, what's the name of this one?
So what's going on, guys? Fed and Uncle Dave hanging out at Lord of the Hops Hop Lord Brewing Company. So we're doing Craftroad Beverages. So they're bringing some different craft beers all over the country. So we're doing the Almec. So it's probably brewed Northern California. So we're doing the Cherry Bear. All right.
Very good.
So it comes in 7.4 ABV. Sorry, 7.4 ABV. So, what do you guys got?
Lisa. It's a great taste. It's not too tart, not too bitter, but it is a sour. It's wonderful.
Okay, what do you think?
I agree with that. It's like a sweet tart, but it's one that you can drink. It's not a sipper type beer. You can.
So it's like a good session beer.
There
You could
you go.
probably
You could
drink
just-
it all evening long.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Okay. Okay, what we got here is it's a hazy. It's hazy. It's kind of like an amber.
Yours is hazy.
No, amber color. I think I got the end of the bottle. So there's probably some yeast that would sit on the bottom of the bottle.
And it's got a nice, it's a clear head on it. It's got a nice draft along this cup.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
Nice white head.
Yeah.
Like you said. And,
Well,
try it.
you gotta smell it.
yep.
So I got so many sours. Sour
You don't
cherry.
really smell the sour in it. You
Doesn't
smell
really
the cherry.
smell like cherry. It's not really a powerful cherry. It's not a powerful cherry.
Yeah.
No, I kind of get the sourness to it. I can't tell it it's cherry, but we'll see what happens when I taste it.
All right.
There we go.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right. Definitely sour cherry. Right in front.
Yep, the tart cherryness.
It actually smooths out a little bit. And then
it's
just kind of
dry-
fades away.
It's dry, but not overly dry. It's like a, what do you call a, I don't know what you call it. It's a
like if you're eating
semi-sweet or semi-dry wine.
Agree.
So it's not overly dry, which is great for me. But yeah, I mean, this is something you could drink for like a session beer, but it's a sour, so a session sour. Let's call it.
I
Well,
agree
there we
with
go.
that. I agree with
So-
that wholeheartedly. That's it is dry. It's not real sweet. It's more like a Michigan cherry, like
Yeah.
a bean cherry, but not real sweet. Yeah, it's really good.
All right.
Love it. Totally recommend it. Yep.
Okay, we're going to score this now. You're probably familiar. You've been with us at South Bend and at Elkhart.
Yeah.
So,
Let's get some scores on that.
1 to what? A, B?
1 to 10.
I would say 8. I'm
We
giving
got
it
an
an
8
8.
here.
I would say an 8.
good, eh? Okay. I'm up there on about an 8.7. 8.7. Yeah, this is something I would definitely, if it's available, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have some.
I'm usually
If I'm
not
in
a
the
sour
mood for a
guy.
sour, this is
For sour for me, it's a 7.1. But I'm not a sour guy, so that's where I'm at. So
That says a lot. You like it. It's good.
so they're doing the great.
Step into the IPA world.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
It's a good summer drink.
Well, ladies, thanks for joining us on mBR. Let's
Thank you again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for the crew.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching the Michiana Beer Reviewers Beer Tube. Catch more of the Lord of the Hops Brew Fest next Sunday at noon. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Don't miss the latest beer tubes. Remember, drinking beer is fun, but drinking and driving is not. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.